Like, the AK character design is just blatant hypersexualization for the sake of pandering to horny teenagers. Meanwhile Ayato has actual thought and inspiration put into it. You really thought this was a good comparison, huh?
Are you sure about that?
Hello everybody, my name is Rugi and the topic of today is about AK hypersexualization drama. This is the reason why Arknights went on trending for the week. Good? Very good. See, the debates between two distinct fandoms are almost a never-ending issue. Dota 2 and League of Legends, PUBG and Fortnite, Genshin Impact Arknights, the list will never end too. If you want to start a war, all you need is a nice looking RGB keyboard and various level of IQ, I think. Oh wait, that was optional. Anyways, in Arknights Meme Explained, I'll tell you about how the tweets came into trend, how Arknights community reacted to the tweet, and everything in between. On August 27, 2022, at 4 AM according to GMT+8, which is Beijing KL Singapore time, a Twitter user named Magical Gamers tweeted about this. Oh, so they can make interesting and good diverse characters designs, they just choose to leave for the enemies. Stop playing this damn game and definitely stop giving it your money. And PogDriver04, wait, PogDrinker04 tweeted this to respond. My point is, you can create a unique character, which also satisfied what the players need. Arknights is a good example in my opinion. Genshin design on the other hand just feels so lifeless to me. Just a picture of Golden Glow for Arknights and Kamisato Ayato from Genshin Impact. Nothing wrong, right? Well, you say about the caption, but let's look into this further. Another Twitter username named me Finn's Punch responded like this. Her design looks like shit, just a bunch of random design choices thrown together. Meanwhile, Ayato derives design inspiration for the actual Meiji era of feudal Japan. But sure, lifeless. Like, the AK character design in just blended have hypersexualization for the sake of pandering to horny teenagers. Meanwhile, Ayato has actual thoughts and inspiration put into it. You really thought that was a good comparison, huh? And boom, over 3,000 core tweets within a week, and mostly are Arknights hardcore players jump in to defend their beloved game. So I jumped in and simply responded, "Hi Lauren." And yeah, their profile says chronically mocking all vendors cause they ain't shit. Okay, cool. Does the drama stop here? No, I don't think so. But sure, I'm here to address my opinions about this drama. The first tweet sounded very innocent, as they are trying to explain that how game developers trying to design NPCs instead of various characters that should be played. I looked upon the original tweet and found out that the design is intended for an NPC or enemy for Genshin Impact, and more precisely, I think he will appear at the upcoming Sumeru desert map. Don't get me wrong, Genshin Impact characters are really diverse at first when first 3 nations were unveiled. Look at Rosalia, look at Kanji, look at Arataki Ito. But the problem came when you are seeing a couple of repetitive characters like Radio Shogun and Yayi Miko. I don't know much about Honkai Impact the Third, so I have no rights to talk about that. But let's say the design is quite similar, and then we are getting signals that some characters' designs are repetitive within the game. Well, there is a common problem which exists amongst all ongoing games, which is lack of ideas. That's why you will see Rainbow Six Siege keeps pushing only one operator per season instead of 2. That's why you will see lots more League of Legends champions albeit with similar and slightly altered skill sets. That's why you will see there's only 1 to 2 heroes being released in Dota 2 per year. And back to Genshin Impact. Why Kole looks familiar with Lumi? So I understand how Magical Gamers felt. Hoyoverse was investing the characterization so much and they decided to leave it to enemies. But I don't think stop playing the game will stop the trend. We already have Tectone.
Oh! Ew! Dude! What the?
As stated in my previous video, Genshin Impact is one of the most popular games around the globe and is not a competitive unlike League of Legends and CSGO. Casual players roam around and make some friends, collecting resources, defeating enemies, etc. I'm sure Hoyoverse didn't give a shit if you stop playing for a year or 2. They have a huge fanbase in China alone, so think about that. Looking back to the second tweet, PillDrinker04 stated that Genshin Impact game designs on the characters are pretty lifeless. I'm sorry, what? I mean, don't get me wrong, I play both games, I am an Arknights content creator myself, but I must strongly disagree with this point. To be honest, there's nothing wrong for Hoyoverse to design such characters. They are just arts, they are just PNGs. Wait, no, it's more than just PNGs. What I am trying to tell is that both developers have their own mindsets to create and design their characters. Let's make a comparison chart right here. Genshin Impact is a copy of Legend of Zelda Breath of the Wild. Arknights is a copy of Blue City series. Both have gacha system, which means they are copies of FGO. Although Genshin's gacha system is more devastating. Since Genshin Impact is a typical action RPG, which means Hoyoverse are likely to develop their characters through thousand lines of dialogues, interactions with other characters, and creating their skill sets which connect to their lore the most. So you'll be immersed into the characters by playing with them. Like for example, you would think about Osmanthus Mind if you play Zhongli and Mid-Boss. On the other end, Arknights is a typical TD game, which means Hypergrade are more likely to focus on their character designs, their lore, and like in Genshin, creating skill sets which connect to their lore. That's why we have Kalsip who has mastered despite Asmodee. That's why we keep receiving authors like Gable and Spectre. See what I mean? We are talking two different games here. Each developer has their own way to design their characters, so there is no right or wrong in this blooming gaming industry. Okay, after debating between Genshin Impact and Arknights, once again, these tweets won the day and pushed Arknights into trending. David Finch Punch sent a critique that Golden's Glow design looks like shit. Whoa, that sounds like a personal attack to me, right, Nami? As I said before, the artists behind the characters have rights to design the characters, not you. If you say Golden Glow's design is shit, can you argue with the fact that Genshin Impact players once said Xingyan should be white instead of black? And the next tweet was just an icing on the cake. No. The main dish, because the previous was just an appetizer. They say Arknight's character's design is bloody hypersexualization. Bruh, I have these official statistics from the black and yellow side, and Genshin Impact is so popular that their respective R18 videos are on top 10 lists. Arknights barely made it in the top 15, I reckon. Do I need to argue more? Yes, but allow me to spit out the facts too, okay? So, according to Oxford Dictionary, sexualization means the act of making somebody or something seem sexually attractive. Hyper is a suffix, means too much. Put it together, we have putting too much X for making somebody or something seem sexually attractive. See, each fan base have those gentleman club where they discuss these things and such, except for Uma Musume and Saige's banned that in respect to the real life racehorses. Like, I'm really traumatized when I find out playing getting F readily. Oh my god. Okay, look, before these two games even exist, we have done so much hypersexualization on other games. This is my presumption lah. So we have done on battleships, we've done on historical figures, we've done on weapons, just to name a few. So I'm not surprised that this trend affected most gacha games today. Genshin Impact and Arknights are the fallen victims, but do the comrades like it? Yeah, I'll say yeah. So I read some of the quote tweets from this tweet and some were really hilarious. You can search on YouTube where some content creators summarize how Arknights community defended their game and countered their tweets by facts. I salute them. I'm not going through here one by one, I'll just leave it to you all. But this is just another battle between Arknights community and Genshin Impact community. The battle will not likely to stop since the incident where Tecton made his leap of faith from Arknights to Genshin Impact. Yeah, I still mention Tecton, don't judge me, he's still good in terms of funding Hoyoverse, you know. So, in the end, who is right and who is wrong? Nobody knows. The moral of the story is, do not mess up the certain community where they have brains to counter your bloody words. It's okay if you unsubscribe at this point just because you saw me defending Genshin Impact 2, despite as an Arknights content creator. I'm just expressing my opinions here, because YouTube is a really good place to express your things like in Twitter. So anyways, that wraps up the video for today. You can subscribe to our channel if you like this video, and I'll see you on the next video. Thanks for watching.